Let's see point slope form. The point slope form of a line is given by this equation. Y minus y1 equals m, the slope, times x minus x1. What is x1 and y1? Well, they are the given point on a non-vertical line, and m is the slope. When you see point slope form, you're going to be given the point that the line passes through, x1, y1, by the coordinates, and the slope, that is our known letter m. So let's see the example 1. Write an equation in point slope form for the line that passes through 6, 1, this is the point that passes through, with this slope, -5 halves. So the first thing we do is, remember, you have to label the point. This is going to be my x1, and this is going to be my y1, and this is going to be my m, the slope, okay? So I'm going to plug all these values, replace in this formula. This is my equation for the point slope form. So let's do it. We rewrite it again here, and then we start replacing. y1 by 1, x1 by 6, and this m here, you're going to replace it back by -5 halves. So just going to put it here, y minus 1, this is my 1, m is going to -5 halves, parenthesis, x minus, and this is going to be my x1, 6. And this is the form of my equation in point slope form. Let's rewrite it here. This is the point slope form of my line, okay? So my equation is going to be this one, y minus 1 equals -5 halves times x minus 6. This is going to be my y1, this is going to be my x1, and this is going to be my m. Okay? Very good. Example number 2, it says write an equation in point slope form for a horizontal line that passes through 4 and -1. So this is the point that passes through. I'm going to label it x1, y1, and my m, where is my m here? M is 0. Okay. So in this equation, that is my equation of point slope intercept, I'm going to replace the y1 by -1. Be careful here with -1. I'm going to do y minus, now comes my y1, that is -1. That's why I put it in parentheses, you see, because it's a negative number. Y minus my y1, that is -1. My m equals 0, because it's horizontal. That's why my m equals 0, because this is horizontal. Times x minus 4. So what happens here? 0 times x minus 4 is 0, correct? This is 0. So my equation is going to be y minus -1. I have a subtraction. I'm going to add the opposite of -1. The opposite of -1 is +1. So y plus 1 equals 0, and this is my equation. Y plus 1 equals 0 in point slope intercept. Point slope form. Final answer. For exercise 1, 2, and 3, write an equation in point slope form for the line that passes through the given point with the slope provided. Okay, in this case, number 1, the given point is 4, 1. So I'm going to label 4 and 1 as my x1, y1. My x1 is going to be 4, my y1 is going to be 1. And my m, the slope is going to be 1, is given here, okay? Then I'm going to rewrite now the point slope form equation, that is y minus y1 equals my m times x minus x1. I'm just in this, I'm going to replace x1, I1, and y1 by these values here, and my m by this value here. So it's going to be y minus, how much is y1? Is 1. How much is m? 1. Times x minus x1. How much is x1? 4. And that's it. This is my answer for exercise number 1. Let's go to number 2 now. My m in this case is 0, obviously, because this is a horizontal line, and my point given is -3, 2. So I'm gonna label first of all. This is gonna be my x1, this is gonna be my y1. I'm gonna rewrite my equation as I know it, the point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to replace x1 and y1 in here and m. So let's do it. Y minus y1 is 2 equals my m equals 0 times x minus x1. x1 is -3, so be careful. I'm going to open a parenthesis and put -3. Close this parenthesis and then close this one here, like this. So 0 times all these parentheses becomes 0, and in this side is going to be y minus 2 equals 0, and this is going to be the answer for number 2. This is my point slope form, y minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to let you do number 3 now. On number 4, I have the point that the line passes through is 2, 1, and my slope is 4. This first thing I do is starting to label x1, y1, and m. I know what it is. So let's do it. Let's write first my point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm just replace x1, y1, and m. So let's do it. Y minus my y1 is 1 equals m, that is 4, times x minus my x1, that is 2. Very good. And this is my equation for this line. Number 5, let's label. This is going to be x1, this is going to be y1, and my m equals 6. So this is my general formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm just going to replace x1 and y1 by these numbers and the m by this number here. So y minus y1 is 2 equals my m, 6, times x minus my x1, that is -7. So I'm going to open another parenthesis and put my -7 in a parenthesis. Then I close this one, the external parenthesis. I'm going to work a little bit on this one, and I'm going to have y minus 2 equals 6 times x minus a negative number is the same thing as adding the opposite. So I'm going to add the opposite to -7, that is 7. And this is going to be my final equation for number 5. Let's go to number 6. Same procedure. Start labeling first. This is the point that passes through x1, y1, and m equals 1. Then we're going to start writing the general equation, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Correct? Then we're going to just replace y minus my y1 is 3 equals my m, that is 1, times x minus my x1. x1 is 8. So I'm going to just 1 times this one is going to be the parenthesis. So I'm going to rewrite y minus 3 equals x minus 8. And this is going to be my final answer for the equation point slope for the line that passes through this point and has a slope equals to 1. For number 10, it says write an equation in point slope form for a horizontal line that passes through this point. Okay, remember that horizontal lines has a slope equals to 0. So I'm going to label same way as we do every problem. This is my x1, this is my y1, and my general equation is going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Correct? So I'm going to replace x1, y1 and my m in this equation. Y minus -2 equals my m, that is 0, times x minus 4. Okay, y minus -2 is a subtraction, is the same thing as adding the opposite to -2, that is 2. y plus 2 is going to be 0 times the parenthesis is going to be 0. So this is going to be my final equation in point slope form for an horizontal line that passes through 4 and negative 2.